Pierce plopped his backpack on his counter, grabbed a few packs of Skittles, and hopped in his portable elevator. When he got to his room, he turned on his PS4, phone, all his lights, his Xbox One, and his personal heater. He played on the electronics for a few hours and, while doing that, devoured his Skittles, particularly enjoying the green ones, and threw the empty packs out his window. A few minutes later, Pierce's mom walked into the door. She called up, "Turn off some of those things, please." "Sure, Mom," Pierce called back blankly. Why would I want to turn off some of these wonderful things? Pierce thought. Another few hours passed. Pierce smelled food and headed down his stairs to eat. "You know you should turn some of those off," said his mom at his table. "It would be good for the environment." "Okay," Pierce said with as much enthusiasm as he could muster, but really, he couldn't care less. After his dinner, Pierce went back upstairs and fell asleep. He just started to drift off when Pierce appeared on the deck of a stilted house on a strange sandy island. Pierce felt the hot sun beating down on him. He looked at some of the other houses, which were wooden and smelled like rotting wood, and was surprised to see most of them submerged in water. Then Pierce saw a boy, about his age, scooping up and dumping out water from a house with a bucket, grumbling. "Weird," thought Pierce, but he called out to the boy since there was no one else around to call to. "Hey, you!" Pierce yelled at the boy. The boy looked up. "What?" he yelled back to Pierce, somewhat annoyed. "Where am I, and what are you doing?" Pierce yelled in reply. "You're in Kittibus, and I'm emptying out water from my house because sea levels always rise every 3 to 5 years and flood our houses and destroy our seawalls," he yelled back in response. "Wow," Pierce thought. "Can't he just call someone to suck up all this water? I mean, it's not that much water, but that is a little sad." Pierce yelled goodbye to the boy and jumped off the house, splashed onto the ground, getting a mouthful of brackish water. He got up, spit it out, and walked further down the beach. Pierce walked down the beach for a few minutes, picking up seashells and seaweed, feeling their textures and listening to the waves slamming into the beach, until he came to 2 boys fishing on the bay. But strangely, he didn't see any fish around the boys. The boys were standing on the edge of the water. They were tanned and their feet were covered in sand under the water. "How's the fish, guys?" Pierce asked. "Not too good. We've been here for days," muttered the older boy wearily. "Yeah," murmured the younger boy dolefully. "People in modern wealthy countries use fossil fuels that make the sea warmer by going into the air and trapping the sun's heat, and thus causing the fish to migrate to colder waters." "Oh, no!" Pierce said in disbelief. "That's not good," Pierce thought. Pierce was about to ask how he could help when he felt a jolt, and suddenly Pierce appeared in his bedroom. He quickly sat up, wide-eyed at what he'd just seen. He thought about the question he was about to ask the boys. He glanced around his room, looking at all his electronics. Then he answered his own question. He quickly stood up and turned all of them off. That day, Pierce vowed to go eco-friendly for the rest of his life. "Good job," Pierce's mom said to him. "You did the right thing." That night, Pierce fell back asleep, but not for long, because Pierce traveled to the future. Pierce awoke in a grassy field. He grasped the grass and looked up to see giant windmills above his head, going around and around. He looked to his left and saw huge solar panels. Pierce was so happy he started to jump up and down until a man came over to him and said to go somewhere else because his company was about to install a new solar panel. "Perfect," Pierce thought. "This is more like it." Suddenly, Pierce appeared back in his bed, but this time without the electronics on. He smiled broadly, knowing what the future would be like now. The end.